Eccles cake, Banbury, Banbury, Eccles cake. I think it's highly appropriate that these two fine articles of the patissier's art are being bathed in a golden glow from the back of the office here. Look at that fabulous sugary surface there, puff pastry, and in the case of the Eccles cake, containing a lovely layer of fresh fruit, mainly sultanas in a sort of syrupy jam. The Banbury is a slightly different shape. As you can see, most people think that they're both the same cake, but they're not. The Eccles cake is completely circular, normally has 3 stripes in the top. The Banbury actually isn't circular, it has nibbles at the end there, or willies, or whatever you want to call them. Is more ovaloid in shape and is perforated on the top. Marvellous. The Eccles cake has sultanas and a sort of syrupy gunk in it, to give it that sweet flavour. Whereas the Banbury has got also sultanas, but a chocolatey essence type stuff, and also some kind of dough. Bakers would use leftover bread pudding and other bits and pieces from other cakes to fill out the Banbury. So it's still got a sweet sort of centre, but it's got a slightly bitter aftertaste because of the leftovers. To further confuse the issue, some bakers, whether for accident or because they're uninformed, or whether or not because they're trying to undertake a deliberate illegal fraud, I know not, choose to fill the Eccles-shaped cake with a Banbury centre. When you invest in something like an Eccles cake, a piece of confectionery, surely you expect to have a right to be satisfied. The truth is, of course, that people want the real deal. Nobody wants to spend money on buying an Eccles cake, looking forward to the succulent fruits and the good things within, and then biting into it to be disappointed to find a second-hand reused contents from yesterday's bread pudding, a bitter aftertaste. That's just disappointing and upsetting. So I'm wondering whether or not that whole stupid cake illustration isn't just a reflection of something that's happening in our society, that people are maybe getting a bit fed up now with the bitter aftertaste of the cake that they've been sold for such a long time. Do you know, at the recent credit crunch, the government spent enormous amount of money and effort onto onto trying to get people back out into the shops. You know, it was a case of reduce VAT, just go and get out there and spend and just buy stuff, buy anything. For goodness sake, just buy things and put money back into the system. And there's this desperate cry that we really needed to get the economy moving again just by buying stuff. 2 things happened at almost the same time. The credit crunch really cut in and people started wondering about, you know, do we really need to spend this money? They were really trying to start saving. And at the same time, we had a heavy snowfall in the UK. And for just a short period of time, a remarkable thing happened. There were a couple of days when a lot of businesses closed down and people had time off. And there were some extraordinary videos published on YouTube and other places of people just having a fantastic time. Just being like released from the cage of being at work, desperately trying to earn money to buy things that they didn't really want anyway. Suddenly they had this opportunity, a light at the end of the tunnel, a little chink in the armour of our consumerism was being allowed through, a little chink of light, and people were going out and enjoying themselves, and there were just thousands of people having fun, kicking snowballs about, and relationships were started, and you know, people got to talking to each other, and they weren't spending any money, and they were living a life, and it was extraordinary, a wonderful week. And at the same time, people were just beginning to question whether or not, you know, what do we actually need to spend money on, and then maybe why do we need to spend money? And I'm really, really hoping that this opportunity that's being given by the current downturn, actual fact, makes people think again, makes me think again about why the way I spend my money, the way I spend my time, and exactly what I'm doing with my life. You know, personally, for me, the cake of consumerism is bitter now. I'm fed up of the fact that I'm being told to buy stuff. I'm being, you know, adverts like these 24/7. You must have this great thing. It'll change your life. It will make you happy. They don't actually say that, obviously, but the implication is it will make you happy. It will make your life better. And all that happens is you're just disappointed with what you buy and you want the next one. You know, there's just no satisfaction. Is it, after all, possible that there could be a better, slightly less bitter cake that we could be eating? I'm hoping that this downturn really gives an opportunity for people just to examine their lifestyles and think exactly what are we doing, what are we working for, what are we obtaining with our money? Is there maybe a slightly different and much more wholesome, much more fulfilling way that we could live our lives?